Hey you guys, welcome to Luna's Kitchen. I am Luna and today we are going to be making some legume, seafood legume. Guys, let's jump right in. Hey you guys, so today we're going to be making legume. Well, technically Legim, to say it in Creole properly. We're going to be making legume. With this dish, it can be a little bit intimidating. I've listed all of the ingredients that we are going to be using in making this wonderfully tasty dish. I have to say, this is not one of those quick meal dinners after work that you want to come home and prepare. You're going to need to clear your half a day or a whole day to prepare this meal if it's your first time. This is a creative dish, and so there are many types of different meat that can be added to this dish if you don't prefer seafood. I'm also adding some beef feet to my legume. And to get started, I'm cleaning all of my meat. I'm washing my beef with some vinegar, hot water, some lime, some sour orange juice, and all of that. And I'm going to season everything, and I'm going to set it aside. Even though I say that it's going to take a long time to prepare, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't shorten the time by using a pressure cooker if you have one. Because the beef feet is going to take a really long time to cook if you cook it on the stove. So I'm going to cook that in a pressure cooker first as I clean the conch, and then I'm going to pressure cook the conch or the lambi after the beef feet has cooked. After cleaning your conch or your lambi, allow it to sit in the seasoning for about an hour, and then you're going to pressure cook it. Now, if you don't have a pressure cooker, it will take about an hour and a half to cook your lambi in a Dutch oven covered on medium heat for it to become tender. And also, you do not want to add any salt to your lambi while you're cooking it. So as the conch or the lambi is cooking, we're going to move on and prep our vegetables. And so now I am peeling the chayote or the militon, as we call it. I guess you guys didn't think you were in for a Creole lesson. Hey, you're here and I'm here. So we call that a militon, and a cabbage, we call it a chou. And the eggplant is berigène, and the green papaya is papaye vert. So now you know. As I continue cutting and dicing the rest of my vegetables, I am prepping them and setting them aside because then I'm going to wash them and then boil all my vegetables in a pot together. Once all my vegetables are peeled and diced and washed and clean, I am going to add them to a large pot, and I'm going to add about a cup of water, and I'm going to boil everything in medium heat for about 40 minutes. And don't worry so much if your lid don't cover your pot, because as your vegetables boil, they're going to reduce in size and the lid is going to cover. And then I'm using a wooden spoon to check to see if my vegetables are cooked and ready for me to mash them up. And then once my vegetables are thoroughly cooked and boiled, I am going to start with the chou or the cabbage, and I'm going to mash it up completely to my liking, and then I'm going to add the rest of the vegetables, and I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to set it aside. And after pounding my vegetables, I'm going to go ahead and drain the water because you're not going to use it. If anything, you can use some stock from the meat to add to your legume, but that water from the vegetable, you can go ahead and drain it. And once you're done, go ahead and set your pounded vegetables aside. Now, as I cut my lambi or my conch to bite-sized chunks, I'm going to gather a large pot in which I'm going to build my legume. Make sure you have a large pot because I don't know anyone who can make a small pot of legumes. I don't know if it exists. But whenever I make legume, I always use my mom's old Dutch oven and her large wooden spoon because traditionally that's what I've always seen her do. So that's what I now do. But yeah, get a large pot and you're going to add some oil, add some epis, and you're going to fry up your boiled meat. For it to fry up and have a nice color, and we call this point couleur. And when you're cooking, you don't want your meat to look blanche or bland. You want your meat to have a nice brown color. You either fry it up and sear your meat. In this case, you're going to fry it up with the tomato paste, and you're going to add your meat a little bit at a time. You're going to add your seasoning, and then you're going to build this rich, savory sauce before you go ahead and add your pounded vegetables to your legume. Once you're satisfied with the taste, the flavor, and the texture of your stew, go ahead and add the rest of your meat, with the exception of the shrimp, because the shrimp cooks really fast and you don't want that to cook for a long time. So go ahead and cook your crabs. Go ahead and you can add your lambi, but do not add the shrimp yet. And now add in whatever vegetables are left that you didn't cook. Now you can cook your carrots before with the rest of the vegetables. I don't like overcooked carrots, so I chose to add them to the very end so that way they can still have a little bit of a crunch. And then now I finally add my shrimp, and I'm going to cook it for about 1 minute before I go ahead and add in my mashed up vegetables. And towards the end of making my legume, I'm going to add my parsley wrapped with thyme and then some peppers. Now, I didn't add cloves because I already added some cloves powder. But if you have whole cloves, go ahead and poke your pepper with some cloves. And then at the final step of my legume, I'm adding in a couple pieces of butter. And now this final step is optional. You can do that or you don't have to. I like to, at the end of my legume, do that. And sometimes even when I make my rice, I like to add in a little bit of butter. And that's it. Your legume is done. And with this legume, I made some rice with red kidney beans, and that's what I served it with, and everything came out absolutely delicious. Since I have also in the past made a video showing how to make this type of rice with kidney beans, I will go ahead and include the link in the description box of this video so you can check it out. And I've made legumes so many different ways in the past. I've added pork, I've added beef, I've not added any seafood, I've added crabs. You can, again, this is a very creative dish. You can add whatever meat you want. And if you don't eat meat, you can also opt to have this dish meatless. You can also serve it with like white rice and some bean sauce. You can literally serve it however you prefer. As always, if you guys have any questions or comments, don't forget to leave them and I will do my best to respond. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, bye.